Hello everyone, in this video I'll be showing you an OP dual hand crossbow bard build guide in Baldur's Gate 3. So, hand crossbows, you can get a bonus action attack in with them, and they're actually extremely powerful when paired with the ballast armor and the crossbow expert feat, which we'll be going over in this video. It's going to do a ton of damage, and yeah, we're going to start with the bard here, and for our cantrips, I always have to go with Vicious Mockery. The dialogue options during this are hilarious. I also like Minor Illusion too. This is a really good one to group enemies together, or if you're stealing, you can get enemies out of rooms with this. Mage Hand is another consideration, but I think that Minor Illusion just works best for this build. As for our spells, Healing Word's a bonus action heal. You can use this to pick up downed allies. I wouldn't recommend using it for healing in combat, but as a bonus action, not terrible. I also really like Thunder Wave. The pushback from this is huge, so you can knock enemies off of cliffs and take them out. Also, thunder damage is not a bad damage type. Dissonant Whispers is also quite nice, 3d6 psychic damage, and you can frighten a creature, give them disadvantage on ability checks and attack rolls, and they cannot move. That is really nice too. Long Strider's another really good one, gives you an extra 3 meters of movement speed, but you can have someone at camp apply this to everyone. So I usually skip out on it, and I go with something like Tasha's Hideous Laughter, can knock a creature prone. And for starting instrument, go with whatever one you feel best. And then for our abilities, we're mostly going to be dexterity based, and as well as charisma. So both of these stats should be 16. You can put this at 17 if you get the Hagster to take it up to 18. And then for the Constitution score, you want to have that pretty decent as well. So something like this looks good. We're going to go with that. For skill proficiencies, I like to have at least one in acrobatics. This gives us the resistance to being shoved, so that's really nice in combat. And then also, I'd keep Persuasion, but you can take Deception off, and you can go with Stealth, because that's just a nice thing to have for survivability's sake. But I'll be going over the full build guide at the end of this video, and showing off all the gear, and a combat tutorial as well. So I guess here at first or second level, we get the Jack of all trades, half our proficiency bonus to ability checks we're not proficient in, and Song of Rest, extra short rest, huge, we like that. For our next leveled spell, sleep can be okay early on. You can put 3 goblins to sleep, which is nice. Disguise self, you can turn yourself into a Githyanki and use Githyanki weapons. But I just think that it's honestly best to go with something like Long Strider here, or even Speak with Animals if you don't want to use potions. However, you should use the potions because there's a ton of them everywhere, so get to using them. Now at level 3, we get to choose our subclass, and we're going with the College of Swords. This gives us our Slashing Flourish, which we can attack someone 4 times with, so you can attack 2 enemies at once. What's nice, you can actually attack the same enemy twice, and with this we can also attack multiple people, so that's really good. So for our spells we're going to learn at next level, Hold Person, By, and Fire is the best spell that we got here. This is a bonus. You can use this as a bonus action once we get to Act 3, and it holds enemies still. They can't move, act, or react, and attacks within 3 meters are always critical hits. That's huge. Now for our fighting style, dueling can be good if you're using a melee weapon and a shield, which is what I'm using for the purpose of this, but 2-weapon fighting is also kind of nice too if you want to go with the two-handed weapons. I'm going to go with dueling because I am using a shield in the offhand, but if you're using 2 weapons, obviously go 2-weapon fighting. It just really comes down to what your preference is in combat, but I like the extra armor class. For our next cantrip, take Mage Hand, or Friends if you're the face of the party, get advantage on charisma checks. However, on higher difficulties, it can make some enemies angry. I also really like Heat Metal, cause a metal weapon or armor to glow red hot and force a bearer to get disadvantage on attack rolls and ability checks. But, as I mentioned, the Band of the Mystic Scoundrel, you can do invisibility as a bonus action later on in the game, making this really good. So, for our feat, I actually think that Crossbow Expert is the best one. If you're going with the 2 crossbows at this level, go with this. So, when you make attack with crossbow attacks in melee range, attack rolls do not have disadvantage, and Piercing Shot inflicts gaping wounds for twice as long. That's really powerful because we can use the ballast armor to double our damage and not get disadvantage on attack rolls. So this gets to be pretty strong pretty quickly. Now for our level 3 spell slots, I'm a big fan of Plant Growth because this doesn't require concentration. It quarters movement speed. If someone's prone, you keep them prone. It does get lit up in fire really quickly, so that is another thing to worry about. Glyph of Warding is another nice one. You can choose the damage type, and it doesn't require concentration, so we're going to go with that. We also get our improved Bardic Inspiration to 1d8, and we will get a nice boost at level 6 here with our extra attack, and we also get Counter Charm, but extra attack is a big bonus here. So with this, we can attack 4 times with our range Slashing Flourish. Also, you can use the Counter Charm to give allies within 9 meters advantage on saving throws against being charmed or frightened. Meh, it's okay. Fear would be the other cantrip that I like other than plant growth. So Fear, it's an illusion spell, so you can actually use this as a bonus action with Band of Mystic Scoundrel. But it hits in a cone, and then targets drop everything and become fearful and have disadvantage on ability checks and attack rolls. It becomes really good really quickly, so highly recommend that. Now for our spells at level 7 Bard, this is where we can get greater invisibility. And Confusion's another option. This can be Band of the Mystic Scoundrel bonus actioned, but greater invisibility, turning creature invisible, attacks with it have disadvantage. This is huge. So this actually puts our build together, and we're going to take that. And at this point, I actually think it's best to actually add in the Thief. So we go ahead here, add in the Rogue. We're going to get sneak attacks, which is kind of nice because we'll get extra damage here, and we can do ranged sneak attacks from close range. So I'll show you how crazy this can get. At Rogue level 2, we get bonus action hide, dash, disengage. Nice to get. But level 3 is when we get to choose our subclass of the Thief, which gives us an additional bonus action. That is quite nice. This unfortunately means that we can't get to level 10 Bard. Once you get to level 10 Bard, the nice thing about it is you get the magical secrets. You can take Conjure Elemental and Cone of Cold. However, with this combination, we can't get that. But the bonus action allows us to be a crossbow demon. Now, we can take the feat here at level 5, or level 4 Rogue. However, there's two different ways we can go about this. We can take 2 more levels, and we could leave it at that and go Rogue Thief 3 and Bard 9. This will give us more spell slot progression, which is nice, and we still get the extra feat. You can go with an 8-4 split and get the 3 feats. So I guess we'll go this route here. And for this, take ability score improvement up our dex. That just makes sense for armor class, for damage. And we can go to level 5 Rogue. This will give us uncanny dodge. So your lightning quick reflexes protect you. When an attack hits you, you only take half the usual damage. So that is actually worthwhile taking from the Rogue. In opposed to going to, like, you can go 8 levels of Bard, get the extra feat, and take your dexterity up higher. Or we can go here and get Uncanny Dodge to take half damage. This is entirely your choice. If you want to play more defensively, take the Rogue. I'm going to go with Bard just to show what can be done with something like Confusion alongside this, and then going with an ability improvement to take our dexterity up even higher. Alternatively, you can take Sharpshooter. I just want to mention this. Ranged weapon attacks don't receive penalty from high ground rules. And you get a -5 to attack rolls and can add 10 damage to your attacks, which actually gives a huge power spike in damage. So I would highly recommend going with the Sharpshooter. However, I'm just going to go with Dexterity to keep it a little bit more plain, because there's a reason that I'll show you about that. So as for the gear, this is really what makes up the build, because there's some gear that can take this build to like S tier. First being the Helmet of Arcane Acuity. So whenever you deal weapon damage with an attack, you gain Arcane Acuity for 2 turns. Dexterity saving throw +1. So Arcane Acuity means your spell save DC goes up by 2 every weapon attack, and we have the Helldust Gloves adding a +1 to spell attack rolls, so we get +1 to spell save DC as well. Now with this and the Band of the Mystic Scoundrel, we can attack with our crossbows. I like the Nair Mister because it does force damage. It's the only weapon in the game that deals pure force damage. But since we got invisibility, we should go with the Hellfire Hand-CROSSBOW, because when we attack with while hidden or invisible, which the Rogue gets proficiencies in, we deal burning to the target, and then with the Fire Stoker, deal an additional 1 to 4 piercing damage to burning targets. So it gets really crazy really quickly. We got 25 armor class, and that's great because with Ballast Armor only has 14 armor class, but we get our full dexterity modifier added to that, which makes it pretty decent. +2 to initiative rolls, and then the Evasive Shoes, Ring of Protection, and the Cloak Protection for the extra damage there. Now I want to show you some cool synergy that we can actually give ourselves here. So we can go with the Snowburst Ring, and we can also go... Now you need someone else with the Drake Throat Glaive here. What you're going to do is you're going to pull out your crossbows here, and then you're going to just idle there with them out. Let the person with the Drake Throat Glaive use the Draconic Elemental Weapon, apply Cold Weapon to it, and then your crossbows will now deal cold damage. Now, that might not sound crazy, but this deals 1d6 plus 8 piercing, 1d6 piercing, 1d6 fire, 1d4 cold. But this gets crazy because the Snowburst Ring, whenever the wearer deals cold damage, they create a 4.5 meter circle of ice around the target. We can apply the Disintegrating Nightwalkers, giving us a bonus action teleport. But basically what we want to be doing is we want to stealth, if at all possible, using things like our invisibility spell to be able to go invisible. And then we are going to do our sneak attacks using our crossbow. And where this gets crazy is we're going to start to make ice. We're going to make ice around the target. So with our sneak attack here, I'm going to sneak attack him, and it creates a nice surface. So that is really nice. And I guess I'll try to stealth my way over here. It's letting me do it. Cool. And then I'll attack Will with it just to show it off. Minsk has resistance. So that's exactly what we want to occur. Knocking everyone prone with that. And yeah, it's really good. But we can also go invisible with greater invisibility. So we have 2 invisibility spells. And what's nice about them is they're both illusion spells. So with the Band of the Mystic Scoundrel, we can cast them as bonus actions. And we got 2 bonus actions. So we can do an offhand crossbow attack and do that as well. We get up to level 4 spell slots, which isn't as amazing as some other ways we could have gone about that, but we're able to sneak attack even from a close range and then knock everyone prone with that. Another thing that's really nice about this is when we go to do our ranged attacks, we can use, I guess they are there, 1 second. If we use Arrow of Many Targets, we can actually hit multiple people. I don't know, I don't think it won't bounce around to everyone, but typically this would go around spreading ice to every enemy in the area, and they'll all slip and fall like that. So that gives you another opportunity to attack. So that's really huge. We also have our defensive flourish if we want to increase our armor class, but typically what we're going to be using is our slashing flourish. And what's nice about it is we can do 2 attacks with it, so and also create ice with it. So if you wanted to go like slashing flourish on 2 people, you'll create double ice surfaces that way, and then knock people around with that. So it's a whole lot of fun, giving yourself advantage on your attacks so that you can then do sneak attacks. I'm also using Shar Spear of the Night. This is a really good weapon to go with, but you don't have to go with it. There's many other options if you want to use something a little bit different, like the Duelist Prerogative to give yourself an extra reaction. The Falar Louve is another good sword of life stealing. You can go with whatever you want, but priority would be a piercing weapon like the Shar Spear of the Evening, which I'm using there. Extremely useful, but Minsk shaving his head, pretty funny. But stealth attacks is what you want to be trying to pull off as much as you can, and then knock them prone with that. And then there's a bonus action. You can do things like Confusion, Tasha's Hideous Laughter, Fear, Hold Person, even Dissonant Whispers, Tasha's Hideous Laughter, Vicious Mockery. Like, you got lots of options for bonus action attacks after that, but the sneak attacks being the big one, which is really fun. But knocking everyone prone and not having disadvantage on attack rolls from close range is also really nice. So typically with this build, you want to be using your slashing flourish as much as possible, the Arrow of Many Targets, and then also whatever type of arrows that you got. So if you got ice arrows, give them a go. You can create a big ice surface. Once the water breaks, you can return it into ice. So that's why we're able to get everyone slipping around like that. So yeah, feel free to use Mage Hand to throw water bottles, because then you can even cause more chaos that way. So Arrow of Ice is a really good choice too. You can deal a good amount of damage. We were able to take out Halsin there pretty quick and easy. But you got other options for types of arrows that you can use. I like the Arrow of Darkness as well. But ice arrows are big for us because we can create these tough surfaces for everyone to fall around on. And then this sets us up to do sneak attacks non-stop. So yeah, you typically want to be doing sneak attacks whenever possible. And we are able to get them off pretty quick and easy with this build. So yeah, that is the beauty of this. And then I'll show you what it looks like in combat. So I'll just use one of my bonus actions to initiate combat, and then we're back in it. Says we're done for, but I don't think that we're really done for. I guess it's giving me him first, so we'll use Ensnaring Strike there. The Ranger's pretty fun, but yeah, Halsin's down. And now this is what's good about this weapon is we got our slashing flourish, and we can go with a double slashing flourish, and we don't have weakness with this. So you can give a 30-32 damage. As you can see, that was 60 damage between our crossbows, and that was just half of our attack. So we can go again here, and this is likely going to take them out. Yeah, only one shot required. Pretty good. I don't want to attack the owlbear cub, but I will finish off, I guess, them. Unfortunate that I have to attack everyone in their camp. But the nice thing about this is we also got our bonus action to use on something like Dissonant Whispers, Vicious Mockery. Listen up. You're dung pretty and scented to wit. So yeah, you get all the awesome benefits of being a bard, and also can attack with a crossbow. This is a very powerful build in Baldur's Gate 3, and I just want to show this off because I was requested to make this build, and I've been using this build on one of my characters, so I thought it'd be best to share it with you all because it's extremely powerful with the ballast armor. You saw there, for one of our slashing flourishes, we did 60 damage. That's pretty crazy, and that's not even the maximum amount of damage that we can deal. So yeah, dual hand crossbow build in Baldur's Gate 3. If you found this video useful, please hit the subscribe button below. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all in the next video.